Hello guys. Hello. Yeah, welcome to class. Let me know if you can hear me. Drop comments in the comment section, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Welcome to class. Um sorry we have moved classes. That is not the intention. It just happened, you know, it just happened to be that we missed those classes. Um right. So how is everyone? How are you guys doing? Drop comments. Drop comment. Let me know if you can see me so we can start. Right. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Welcome to class. Oh, guys, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you're in class already. Drop comments. Anybody at all? Comment in the comment section. Comments, guys. Let me know if you can hear me so we can start. Sorry, we missed some classes. That was not the intention. It's just due to some unforeseen circumstance. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. One, two, three people. Comment. Anybody? Comment, guys. Comment. Anybody? Let me know if you can hear me so we can start. Let me know if you can hear me, guys, so we can start. I just need comment from one or two people. All right. Hi, Mary. Hi. Hi, Mary. Welcome to class, Mary. Welcome to class. Linda Williams. All right. Welcome to class, guys. Welcome to class. Thank you for coming today again. I'm sorry we missed the last class. It has just been, yeah, it have not been easy, but yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Welcome to class, Mary. Welcome, Williams. Welcome. Welcome, Linda. Welcome, Precious. Welcome to class, guys. Right, it's good to know. Yeah, I, people, you lots can hear me now, so that's good. All right. So today, guys, we are going to be looking at CSS, and I'm quite excited about this particular one. Quite excited about this one. This is where things would start to make more sense, guys. This is where things, start to get interesting, guys. We're talking about CSS today. This is where things start to get. So from the last sections that we've had so far, like how do we put Roman figures on ordered list? Someone asked the question: how do we put a Roman figure on in unordered list? In the last question, in the last class. But before we go into that, I would just like to do a quick summary, as usual, of what we've done so far, so we can do a quick refresher before we dive into CSS. So today is for CSS, guys, and I'm excited about this one. Today is for CSS. Hi, Aisha. Welcome to class, Aisha. It's nice having you again. Uh, I know Williams, I know Aisha, I know those names. Good number of people in class now, so I'm going to start. Okay. So so far, guys, so far in this class, we have been talking about HTML and then HTML elements and everything about HTML. And in the last class, we talked about HTML tables as well, and then we dived into HTML tables, what HTML tables are, how do how to use them and everything. So if I just do a quick summary on what we've done so far, so we can refresh our memory, yeah, before we dive into CSS. So far we've talked about HTML elements. Now you know that we always have open tag and closing tags in HTML tags. You know what HTML attributes are, and then you know HTML boilerplate. You know that when you want to create any website or HTML document, you have to declare doc type and then follow the step by step. Create write HTML, then your head tag, and inside your head tag, your title tag would live in there. Then you have your body tag, and then your closing HTML tag. So this is HTML boilerplate again, guys. By now, I'm sure you know that. And then I briefly introduced something called the box model to you, and then basically this is like the step by step or the procedure to like building websites. And if you can remember in that particular class, I talked about like boxes, like everything on the website page is just like boxes. Like I'm thinking of them as boxes is a good way to think of like website layout and everything like that. And this is just a brief, should I say, diagram to show you, to paint that idea in your head in the code. Right. And then this slide is from the previous class. This is not today's class anyway. I'm just picking up from the previous class. So from the previous class, we've talked about different types of HTML tags. We looked at the formatting tags. We looked at the paragraph targeting tag, quotation tags or quotation tags. And then and then in the class after this class, we after this class where I used this particular slide, we looked into block and inline elements, and that was when I told you that inline elements are those type of tags, HTML tags that stay on the same line, while block elements are the ones that will break to the second line. I show and then we we use an example of of a website that we kind of like created. We created a new folder. I think it was called HTML news or something like that. So this is a quick rundown because we missed a class anyway. This is a quick rundown of what we've done so far, just so I can refresh you quickly before we dive into CSS. So guys, welcome to class again. And then today we are diving into CSS. I'm quite excited about that one. But before we move into CSS, I would like to, you know, maybe address some things or answer some questions that you guys may have. The things that you're struggling with. So let me know in the comment section. In the last question and answer class, not class really, but webinar that we had, someone had a question about how to put Roman figures in ordered list. So I'll be showing you how to do that today, and then from there we are probably going to address more challenges that you are facing in your code. If there's anyone that is struggling with anything in their code, maybe you've tried to do something on your code and it did not work, now would be a good time to put it in the comment section, because after I show everyone how to how to after I show everyone how to put Roman figures in ordered list, we are going to be looking at other questions that people have, the things that you've been struggling with, so we can help each other before we move away from HTML into CSS. All right, so I'll just show you quickly here how to put the ordered list in unordered list. How to put the Roman figures in ordered list. Sorry. So if you can remember, we created a website called Menu Website, and this is a website that we are gradually building. We are not there yet. We are going to use a little bit more of CSS today to further style the website, and I will use the website to introduce you to CSS. But before we go into CSS, I would just like to take that ordered list and unordered list again. So if you remember, I introduced two tags to you, and then one is called on ordered list. Again, guys, I'm going to send you guys a note. I know, uh, yeah, I'm sorry. I should have sent the notes in the Google Classroom and set up the whole space now. By now, you guys should have had the note, but I'm working on that. And I can assure you that by before Thursday, we are going to have all the notes, so you can have a reference for all of the HTML tags that we have been talking about. But that should not stop us from moving into CSS, because if you've been following, I'm sure that by now you understand what HTML is, and then how to create HTML documents, what elements or attributes are, and everything like that. So I introduced two tags to you, and I said these two tags are used for listing things or creating a list on websites. So the first one is called ordered list, on ordered list, and then the second one is called ordered list, OL. And then I introduced another tag called li, and then this tag is the one that you actually use to list whatever you want to list. So let's call maybe this one, maybe list one. Maybe if we just duplicate that, make it 3. So again, guys, I just want to show how to put Roman figures in ordered list quickly. But it is important that I run you through what the meaning of these tags or what these tags are doing again. It is important that I run you through that all over again. So let's just open that our menu website again, and then we see the output as usual. All right. All right. So this is the things that I just wrote, list 1 to 3, and this is the on ordered list, and on ordered list we just show your list in bullet points instead of putting numbers in there. So that's the difference again, guys. A refresher for you. All right. So someone asked a question in the last class, like, how do we change these numbers to Roman figures? So instead of using numbers in here, we want to use Roman figures. And that is very simple. All we need to do is to put an attribute called type. An attribute called type. So guys, again, if you remember, I told you attributes always live in the opening tag. So all we need to do is put an attribute called type in there, and to write attribute again equals to then quotation marks, and then we put Roman figure I, which I believe is 1. Let's see, is it in capital letter or small letter? We're going to find out if the code breaks anyway. So let's save that and just go to the output and see what we have, if that will change. So there we go, guys. It has changed to Roman figures. So basically, that is how you do it. It's very simple and straightforward. I'm not sure who asked that question, but I hope I've been able to answer that question now. And then I put it in practice as well, and we just see how to do it. So guys, remember in the class that we actually talked about this ordered list and unordered list. I was going to mention Roman figure, but for some reasons I just forgot. I forgot the word entirely. But Roman figure was what I was trying to say. So basically, that is how you do it. You can change it to Roman figures or leave it in numbers. Depends on the one that suits your project. Someone is asking a question quickly. So guys, ask your questions now. Please drop your questions in the comments. Let me know if you're struggling with anything with HTML. Let me know if you're struggling with anything with HTML. Because we're going to move into CSS. A few minutes from now, we're going to move into CSS. So someone is asking a question, and then she said, Linda, you said, how do we join the Google class, please, and where are we submitting the assessment? Okay, Linda, sorry, I'm still creating the space and all of the notes for you guys. I'm still creating all of the notes for you guys. I'm still creating the space in Google Class for you guys. So by the time I'm done, you'll be able to submit your assessment, and then you have all the notes that you need to look at and read for future reference and everything like that. But at the moment, all I would just want you to do is follow the class, follow the practice, code along as I code. Try to watch the video all over again if you don't understand anything, and most importantly, feel free to ask questions if you're struggling with anything or you get stuck. So please, guys, feel free to ask your questions. If you have questions, please ask me questions, guys. Ask me questions like, are you struggling with anything? Is something broken in your code so far, in your HTML code so far? Is something broken? Do you need to fix anything, guys? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Are you struggling with anything? Medicine, welcome to class. Welcome to class, Medicine. All right, seems like nobody's asking a question. We might as well move into CSS today. So as soon as you know CSS, guys, I can tell you, like, you can actually become a web developer as soon as you know CSS. And then on top of that, if you know Bootstrap, which is what we are going to focus on for the rest of the week after introducing you into CSS today, you are definitely going to become a web developer. So with CSS, with HTML and Bootstrap, I can tell you those two things alone can actually take you far, even before you learn maybe JavaScript or any other major language out there. But with HTML and CSS alone, you can actually go far. You can start building basic websites. All right. So I'm expecting questions, guys. Okay, I have questions in the comment section. I have a question from Linda. Linda. Okay, Linda is saying the output on Chrome, I noticed the URL doesn't work. I want to know if it is possible to be like that, or if it is just my end. The output in Chrome, I noticed the URL doesn't work. Okay, so when you Linda, to answer your question here, when you save the file in your through Visual Studio Code, it should be in your local file, and then yeah, so that URL is not really URL, it's just like a path. It's like a link to the folder in your computer or your laptop. Um, I want to know if it's supposed to be like that. No, it should work. It should not be like that. It should work. It should work. Let me see, Linda. Let me see how I can help you. I think the best way is for you to show me so I can actually help you. Well, Linda, we'll come back to that one. I'll see if there's a way I can send you a link so you join us in the studio, and then you can just show me what you're trying to say, Linda. Williams is asking, sir, please, the pictures are not showing on my website. I rewrote the code again using Visual Studio Code, and the pictures are still not showing. All right, Williams. All right. So Williams and Linda, I think I'm going to bring the two of you into the studio here, so we can we can see what you're struggling with. Can see what you're struggling with. Okay. Just a minute. All right, so I'm just going to drop a link. I'm going to drop a link in the comment section. The two of you can join. Feel free to join. It's okay for the link to be open anyway. So I dropped a link in the comment section. Linda and Williams, please join the link, and then we can address the situation. I would like to see your code so I know where the bug is or where the problem is, and we can solve it together. So join the class, guys. Join the studio. If any other person have a question to ask, feel free to use that link in the comment section right now. Feel free to use the link to join the studio. Feel free to use the link to join the studio, guys. So if you have a question to ask, just like Linda and William, before we move into CSS, because CSS is the major thing that we are going to focus on this program. CSS is still the same thing as Bootstrap. Bootstrap is just a CSS library. So use the link in the comment section, guys, to join the studio, and then we can share. You can share your screen with me, and we can try to resolve the issue together in class. So Linda, Williams, if you're still there with us, please feel free to use the link. All right. So while we wait for Linda and William, I would just like to go back to our code quickly. I would like to go back to the websites that we've been creating, this menu websites that we've been creating so far. Okay. While they join us in the studio, I think I'm just going to carry on and then introduce you guys briefly to CSS. All right, Linda. Linda, William, please let me know in the comment section if you're joining the studio here. Just type yes, or type yes to let me know if you're joining, so I know if we need to wait for you, or we can dive into CSS fully. So if any other person have a question, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Feel free to ask your questions in the comment section. Okay, so while we wait for both of them, in the last class I briefly introduced you to inline CSS or inline styling, like someone in the previous class said. So both terms are correct, inline CSS or inline styling. And basically it is just like it is an attribute here. It is like you writing an attribute to open tags of HTML. And then for you to do inline CSS again, guys, you define style, and then you can put your values in there. So So we're going to look at the different type of CSS properties that you can use uh, when that you can use for different things around the website. Okay, I think Jennifer is with us. Jennifer is in the studio right now. So Jennifer, let me know. Let me know through the private chat. Jennifer, let me know if you have a question. Ask your question in the private chat, and then also put your uh, ask your question in the private chat in the StreamYard link that you are in right now. Let me just drop a chat for you, Jennifer, so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so just ask your question in there, and then you can share your screen as well when you're ready, and we can address your question, Jennifer. Okay, Linda is trying to connect with her laptop, so Linda is going to join us eventually as well. But Jennifer is in the studio right now, so I guess Jennifer have a question to ask. And all right, thank you, Molola. Welcome to class. Thank you, Sarah. Welcome to class. Again, for people who are just joining us, right now we are looking at the questions that people may have. So if you're struggling with anything with HTML so far, please feel free to. If you're struggling with anything around HTML so far, feel free to join us using the link in the comment section, the StreamYard link in the comment section. Use that link to join us in the studio, and then we can look at your code together, and hopefully we're going to help you fix it. So William, I think you've been saying this thing about the pictures so far too, for a while now. So I can really only help you if you join us in the studio. Hi Jennifer. Jennifer, I'm not sure if you can still hear me. Okay. My issue is with my images on the website. Okay, Jennifer. So share your screen, Jennifer. Share your screen so I can display it, and hopefully it is the same issue that William is having, and we can resolve it together at once. So share your screen, Jennifer, and then I will add it to the screen for people to see. So hopefully one solution is going to solve everything. All right. So while Jennifer is still trying to share her screen, and Linda is as well trying to join us in the studio, and I guess maybe William too is trying to join us in the studio. I'm just going to continue with CSS, inline CSS, that I was talking about earlier. So we looked at inline CSS, and then basically it is just like you defining an attribute. But not really, because now this is inline styling or inline CSS, so it is not really HTML attributes, but it is the same techniques of writing HTML attributes anyway. So there are different properties that CSS have. Jennifer, again, I can see you in the studio, but you're not sharing your screen yet. So as soon as you share your screen, okay, how do you share your screen? All right. Right. So you should see an icon. You should see an icon that says start screen share or share screen. You should see an icon that says start screen share or share screen. All right. Jennifer is off. Maybe she's going to join us again. All right. So let's carry on, guys. Inline CSS. So this is one of the CSS properties that you can use for inline CSS, and maybe let's just define. Let's just maybe color red here, and let's just check the output. We're going to go into CSS properly. I'm just doing a quick refresher of where we stopped. So if you notice down, that has changed to red, and basically, it is inline CSS. So whatever color you define in there, that would work with the that would work with the property. Yeah, I'm still expecting questions, guys. I'm expecting questions so we can fully move into CSS today. I'm still expecting questions. I'm expecting Jennifer is back in the studio again. All right, I'll just drop a private message for Jennifer to make sure she's able to share her screen. All right. So CSS, guys, inline CSS. Right. So in the last class, we looked at this style as an example of inline CSS, and then this is just one of the basic ways to write CSS. If you can remember, I told you there are three ways to write CSS actually. One is inline CSS or inline styling, like someone in the previous class said, and then there is internal CSS, and internal CSS is basically the one that you write in the head tag. You can write CSS in the head tag. I'll show you how to do that as well today. And then there's another one called external CSS. External CSS is basically linking a style sheet or a CSS file to your document. So it would take its CSS values and everything from the file. So this is an example of inline CSS, and let's look at example of internal CSS and how to actually write internal CSS. Again, guys, I'm going to send you the notes so you don't have to worry about the notes for now. So when it comes to writing internal CSS, it would always have to sit in the head tag. Again, guys, you know what the head tag is now. So it would always have to sit inside the head tag, just like that, inside the head tag. And then with internal CSS, you can style different elements of HTML with internal CSS. So you can style any tag around your website, or you can style any element around your website, or you can define something called class, CSS class. So what we're trying to do now is going to gradually introduce you to CSS class. Welcome to the studio, Linda. Let me know when you can share your screen, Linda, so we can help you solve your problem. So we can help you solve your bug, no problem really. All right. So we're still waiting on the other guys to share their screen so we can help them resolve their issue. But to carry on with you, which what I'm talking about, we're talking about external CSS, guys. All right. So one thing that I just remembered quickly now is HTML comments, and I've not really shown you how to do HTML comments. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do HTML comments. So HTML comment does not come out as code. It is basically just a comment that you leave in your code to remind you in the future of what that code is doing. So to write HTML elements, you have to do this sign and then exclamation mark and then maybe 3 dashes, just like that. And in between that, you write whatever you want to write. So for example, now I want to write external CSS in there so we can remember what we're talking about in today's class. I want to write external CSS in there. All right. So if I go to my output now, just to show you what I'm trying to say, and then I refresh, you can see that that's external CSS that I wrote in that code is not coming up. So basically what HTML comment does is like, it lets you write notes inside your code as a reminder for yourself or for future web developer that may take over your work. So that is this is an example, or this is how to write HTML comments, guys, and then it is good for future reference. So external CSS guys, and then Jennifer, I think Jennifer ready to share now, sir. Linda, yes, please share your screen. Share your screen. I can see what you're doing. Jennifer, I can see what you're trying to do. Are you trying to use your camera? So let's work with that. Let's work with that. Let's work with that. All right, Jennifer. I'm with you right now, Jennifer. I'm
Okay, sir.
with you now.
Sorry, my system is a bit slow. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? I can't hear anything. Hello.
go off there a bit. Sorry, I had to go off. Can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. Just drop a comment in the comment section. Lawan, anybody at all, let me know if you can hear me, guys. I just need one person to confirm. Yes, but I can't hear you when I join. Uh, okay. Finally, Gabriel said yes. Gabriel said yes. Gabriel said yes. I can hear now, Gabriel. Okay, finally. Thank you. Thank God. All right. Finally, guys. I'm sorry about that. Now we can hear. Okay, Lawan. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. It's just one of those things, technical issues, I guess. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. All right. All right. So Linda, I'm sorry, Jennifer. Jennifer must have been really pissed right now, because Jennifer was trying to share a screen, and then Linda as well. All right. So Linda, I can see that you're trying to share your screen. So what I just want you to do, Linda, is to go to the actual code, go to the code, go to the code, Linda, and then we are going to. I'm going to put you up on the screen in a bit. But let us finish up with this internal CSS so we can go back into the problems that we're trying to resolve. So internal CSS, guys, and I just told you internal CSS is always written in the head tag of any website, and you can write internal CSS in two ways. You can either write internal CSS to style elements using tags, or you can write internal CSS by defining a class, and I'm going to show you how that is done in a bit. But first off, let us start with how to write internal CSS by styling HTML tags or HTML by styling HTML tags and not class this time around. So by now you know HTML tags are like maybe p tag, um, h1 tag, and and so on and so forth. Okay, so when you want to start with internal CSS, you need to make sure you are in between the head tag. So this is the opening tag of head tag and then the closing tag of head tag. So you need to be somewhere in between both tags. So to write internal CSS, first thing you want to do is to define style. You want to write style. So a style tag. You can call it style tag. Again, guys, this one as well have opening tag and closing tag, and then it's going to look like that. And then let's take our p tag. Let's say we want to style our p tag. So you write p like that, and then the next thing you want to do is to use this thing called coil braces. So this symbol is a new symbol now that I've introduced to you, and then it is the symbol that you would use to write internal CSS. So you want to have open curly braces and then closing one as well, and they just look like that. And then in between those curly braces, I can't pronounce it right. Excuse me, guys. I may not be able to pronounce it right, but eventually you understand what I'm trying to say anyway. So that's the paragraph tag, and then for this lesson, we want to style the paragraph tag using internal CSS. So there's a CSS property, if that is the right thing, called background color. We've been using it a lot of time in this class. We've been using it so far in this class. And then let me define background color as maybe yellow. Okay, so this is all I wanted to pick. We're going to look at all the types of CSS properties and CSS values and everything that you can define and CSS declarations. We're going to look at the different types eventually, but it is important for you to understand what internal CSS is, the different type of CSS and how to write them before we actually look at the types, because that is the only way you're going to learn how to code.
So for writing internal CSS, again, it has to be between the opening tag and closing tag of the head tag in your HTML file. Sometimes if it is outside it, it may still work, but that is not the right way to do it. As far as I know, it always have to be in between the opening tag and the closing tag of head tag. So internal CSS, first thing you want to do is to define style, opening tag and closing tag of style. And then, next thing you want to do is to put in whatever you want to style in there. So let's say you want to style a tag. In this case, I want to style p tag. I put p tag, and then I would have my open curly braces and then closing one as well. And then inside it, I have my CSS declaration. So for this example, I want to style the p tag, and I want the p tag to have a yellow background. So if I save that, and we go into the output again as usual, guys, and let's just refresh and see what happens to our p tag. So you notice here now that every every code that we have, that we define p tag in there is having this yellow background. But every other codes is not having the yellow background, and that is only because we are styling the p tag. That is only because we are styling the p tag and not every other code on the website. So let's do something again. Let us change that again. No, let's leave that as that. Let's leave p tag as that. Let's do the same thing for this table tag. Let's do the same thing for this table tag. So if you notice that in here we have inline CSS for the table tag, and we define it as red. We have inline CSS for the table tag in here, and then we define it as red. Um, and then I want us to do something again. I want us to take that table tag this time around, and then I want us to change the background. This is not going to work, and I'm going to explain why it won't work for you. So that would help you understand the difference between internal CSS and then inline CSS and CSS as a whole, as a cascading style sheet, and how it works, and how CSS take priority around your code. So this table tag, let us put a background color to it again, and this time around let us change it to yellow, and let's save. So in the inline internal CSS, the one in the head tag, we have it as we have the table background color as yellow, while in the inline CSS we have the background color as red. So let us see which one is going to work. Let's save that, and then let's refresh. Let's refresh our output to see what we have. And now I've just refreshed, and then it still remains as red. Okay, so maybe maybe that's nothing. Maybe it's just me. Let us change this inline CSS. Let us change it to maybe blue. Let's change it to blue. All right. So RGB and everything. These things are just code for colors anyway. We're going to we may not be able to look at codes for colors, but I'll give you a reference to look at. And you don't really need to know codes for colors. Yeah, if you see the way I just changed it now, you can do the same to always change colors. Nobody really read books on different. It's impossible for you to know those codes for colors anyway. So I've just changed the color in the inline CSS now, and then I saved it. If I go to my output again, and then if I refresh it, you notice now that the color has changed. So the inline, the what is from what we can see here, what you understand that is that um, the computer is taking the inline CSS as the priority. So basically, with CSS as a cascading style sheet, whatever code, whatever CSS that you write in inline is going to have priority over any other CSS that you have elsewhere. So if you write CSS to style table in your internal CSS or maybe in an external file, it is going to look at the one that is inline first, and then it will obey the one that is inline as the priority, to treat the one that is inline as the priority over the one that is elsewhere around your code. So basically, um, what I'm trying to say here is that inline CSS would always overwrite any other type of CSS that you have around your code. So that is something interesting to know about inline CSS and internal CSS. The difference and how to write internal CSS. Again, to write internal CSS, you define opening tag for style, closing tag for style, and then you can edit, or you can put the CSS declarations for the elements in there. So the last thing I would like to talk about before we then move on to Jennifer and Linda again, and maybe any other person that may have a question. I dropped a link in the comment section earlier, guys. I'm going to drop the link again. So if you have a question to ask us, before we are moving into CSS and Bootstrap gradually, fully throughout this week. So it will be good to know if you're struggling with anything around CSS, before we around HTML, sorry, before we move into CSS fully. So if I just share that link again with you guys, right. I'm not sure if you guys can see the link, but let's see. I'm going to try. All right, so if you scroll up in the comment section, you'll be able to see the link in the comment section. So if you have a question, please feel free to join that link again. And then, we are going to bring you into the studio as well. So Jennifer, are you ready? Okay, so Jennifer, I hope you're ready for us because we'll come to you soon. But before we go to Jennifer, let's just talk about CSS class quickly. So to write CSS class is basically, it is let me say it is a name. So you can give so it is like a name. Let me say it is a name. So a good way to think about of it would be that CSS class is a name. Let's just use that term for today. So I can create a name, and let's say maybe this new name, which is a CSS class anyway. For you to create that new name, you have to start with dot. So let me say maybe dot let me say dot Tobi. That'll be a good one. Dot Tobi. Again, guys, when you're writing your CSS, either you are styling a tag or class, you have to use the opening and closing curly braces. So one thing that you notice here is that to style a tag, I don't need to put dot. I just have to write the name of the tag there, and then I'll style it. But when it comes to CSS class, because this name Tobi, it is not an HTML tag. It is somebody's name. It is any random name that I came up with. So so any random name that you come up with, you need to start with dot. So that way your computer and the HTML document, and your computer essentially is able to understand that this new word that you are writing is a CSS class. So anytime you put dots and then you come up with any random name, and then you put it this way, both of them like that, they become a CSS class. So I want to create a CSS class now, and then this CSS class I want to call it Tobi. Again, to write a CSS class, you need to put dot and then the name of the CSS class. So this new CSS class, I want to call it Tobi. And then I want Tobi to have maybe, let's give Tobi a background color again. And maybe this time around, let's give it brown. Maybe let's give it a color, brown color background. So how do we use this new class that I called Tobi now? How do we use it in the body of our website? How do we use it in the body of our website? So let us create a new tag. Let us create a new tag. So earlier on, guys, I introduced you to this div tag, and then basically I said it is called division tag, and it is like boxes around the website. I showed you an example with Lagos based. If you missed that class, please go back in there. So to write CSS class can sit inside any tag. CSS class can be used to style any tag. So to write CSS class in your HTML tags or your HTML elements, it is almost the same way of like writing HTML attributes. So, but however, what you need to do to call CSS class is that, first you define something, or you write a word. You define something called class, basically CSS class. You define something called class like that, and then equals to and quotation marks, like you're writing HTML attributes that I taught you earlier in this class. And then, so this time around, we want to call that CSS class that I wrote on top, which the name is Tobi. Right. So now what we've done is that we created a CSS class with the name Tobi. And again, to create CSS class, guys, you need to put dots and then the name of your CSS class there. So we created a CSS class dot Tobi, and then we said this CSS class dot Tobi should have a background color of brown. Okay. So now I want to create a new HTML element, and I'm using the division tag. So for this division tag now, I want this division tag to have a background color of brown, because that is what I defined in the CSS class. So for me to make it have a background color of brown now, I will call that CSS class by writing class equals to quotation marks, and then in between Tobi, the name of the CSS class, which is Tobi in this case. So, now that I've done that, let us write a paragraph tag inside our CSS class, and let's just say this is the box. Let's just say this is the box. Okay. And we save. Let's go to our output. Let us see what we have. So if I refresh, okay. So one thing that you notice here now is that it is not having a background color of brown, but instead it is having a background color of yellow. So why is that happening? Why do we have a background color of yellow instead of a background color of brown? It is very simple, guys. Earlier on, we defined a background color for p tag. We defined a background color for p tag earlier on, and then our p tag is having a background color of yellow. So that is basically the reason why our text in here is having a background color of yellow instead of brown. So what can we do to fix this? What we can do is that we can either take this away and save it. If we go back to our code and then we refresh, this time around, you notice that our box is having a background color of yellow, of brown, sorry, and not yellow. And why is because we are not with p tag this time around. If you notice, the yellow background in this upper p tags too have gone away. P tag this time around don't have a background color of yellow and everything like that. So again, this is to tell you that when you style, and this is to tell you, or this is to help you understand why why CSS class is important. When you style HTML tags directly, whatever CSS property or CSS declaration you give to that tag is going to affect every other HTML tag around your website. So this is why a thing like CSS or something like CSS class is being introduced. This is why developers use CSS class. So this way now, I can say, okay, I want this p tag that is in the class of Tobi to have maybe a background yellow, and then I want another p tag elsewhere to have a background color of, I don't know, maybe black or red or any other color. So I can use CSS class to define the background color of each boxes around my website, instead of making all the p tag have a yellow background color. But again, with creativity, you may decide that you want all your p tag or your paragraph tag or all the tags around your website to have the same color. So what I try to show you basically right now is that by putting the CSS declaration in tags directly, it would affect every other tags around the website. But by using CSS class, you can use you can create specific CSS declarations for specific CSS tags. So this class called Tobi that we use here, this one is having a background color of brown. Let's create another one. Let's create another HTML element. And this time around, we want to create a new class again. And maybe let's call this this class this time around. Let's call it Linda. Let's call it Linda. I'm sorry, Linda, that I used your name, but it's all for the purpose of learning. And then let's put a paragraph tag and let's say this is Linda's box. All right. So now we have a new CSS called Linda, but what we have not done yet is we don't have a CSS declaration yet for it. So let's go back to our CSS in the internal section, which is in the head. So we are writing internal CSS now, guys. So to start CSS again, guys, remember you need to write dots CSS class and not CSS. Sorry. To start a CSS class again, you need to write dots and then the name. In this case, Linda. Your core bases, open and closing core bases, and let's just use a background color for declaration. Let's say this one we want it to have maybe color pink. Let's say we want it to have pink color. All right. So we created a new CSS class called Linda, and then we want it to have a background color of pink. So I already wrote the HTML element here, and then I defined the class. Again, the name of the class is Linda, as we wrote on top, and so this particular section should have the background color of pink. So if we go to our output again, and then refresh, and we refresh our output, there we go. We have a new box called Linda, and we have a background color of pink. So the idea of internal CSS by now should gradually be coming together and then be making sense to you. The idea of CSS also by now should gradually be coming together and then making sense to you. So let's go to Jennifer quickly. I see Jennifer has been trying to share her screen. Let's go to Jennifer quickly and let's see maybe.
So can you see my screen?
I guys, let me know if you can hear me now. No. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys can hear me now, so that's good. That's good. All right, that is good. Um, okay, you guys can hear me now. That's good. So good news is Jennifer has been able